Happy Sabbath. What a beautiful day. And do we have some people smiling today? Did people bring a smile? Very nice. I have noticed something. I have not been here for a whole month. And sometimes things change when you haven't been here for a whole month. What do you folks suppose has changed in a whole month in the building here? Is there any changes that you guys know? Two things. What are those?
The whole hallway is emptied, and there's a remodeling in the front of the school.
What is the remodeling about? Is that they're going to put a new
Front office.
And I noticed something in this church right where I'm sitting, and it's right and it's in my eyes. That's kind of different here. What would that be, you think? What did she say?
Right?
The lights right there, they are so beautiful. I love them. Did you have something to say? Do you have?
Lights.
I agree with you. Lights. I love lights. You know what I don't like is darks. You've seen darks? Have you been around where there's dark? I don't care for dark. Well, I have something to tell you today. Would you like a story? Do you like stories? Well, I talked to my friend, Pastor Merrill, just yesterday and asked him what he's going to talk about. And he's talking about some things that are rough times on this earth. Is that something? Am I telling secrets here? Okay. Rough times on this earth. And so I thought I'd talk about a rough time on this earth. So I was about between 3 and 4 years old. Is somebody here 3 years old? 4 years old? 4, right there. I was that age right there. We went to the beach. Do you guys like to go to the beach? And you know what they have at the beach? They have water. Did you know that? Water at the beach. And did you know they sometimes have sand? Do they have sand at the beach you guys go to? Yeah. And sometimes what? Big rocks? Are those things at the beach too? So we went to the beach and we were splashing around with the water. We had a whole big long day there, and I was 4 years old. And we got home and we hadn't eaten for a while. And what happens when you don't eat for a while, when you've been busy at the beach? You have something to say? What happens?
Have a tummy ache.
Tummy ache. My tummy was aching because it was hungry. You ever had a tummy that's hungry? What does it say when it's hungry? Does it talk to you? Does it say, I'm hungry? Mine says that even now. It has a louder voice even now. It's bigger. But my mommy was busy in the kitchen. And what do mommies do when they love us and they're hungry? What do they do?
Making dinner.
And yes, she wasn't. What do you suppose she was making? Well, I'll tell you. Something called pescetti. Did you ever have pescetti at your house? We had pescetti when I was growing up. And some people call it spaghetti, but we call it pescetti. Okay? And we were so hungry, and I was a little boy, and I didn't know how to wait very well. My mommy was boiling hot water on the stove in pescetti, and I was coming up right behind her, and I tripped my mommy, and I had boiling hot water come pouring down onto my stomach, all the way down my shirt. And they took off my shirt, and I won't tell you what it looked like, but it wasn't very happy. And they gave me an opportunity. They said, would you like to ride in the car or would you like to ride in the ambulance? And I said, the car. Car would be better. Because I was hurting. I didn't feel good and I didn't want a loud screaming noise in my ear. Well, we took a ride to see the doctor. Why? Because I got an owie. So I spent a week in the hospital. I was a little tiny kid, and I was burnt bad enough that I couldn't wear any clothes. And so there was a crib with a blanket, like a sheet over it. And it was lonely there, and cold, and miserable. And that wasn't a happy day. It was one of those days that it started really happy, and then it turned kind of bad. You understand that? You ever had those kind of days? Yeah, that was one of the days for me. And my mom was home with 2 other kids, so she was busy. My dad was working, he was busy. So I had a visitor maybe once a day, twice a day, a little tiny visit, 10 minutes. And so I was lonely there too. And so one time they came to visit me, and you know what I did? They left, and I thought I'd like to see them again before they leave. So I was 4 years old. I climbed out of the crib. I went over to the window, 3rd floor on the hospital, and opened the window. I climbed out, and I was standing on the ledge outside, and I was watching for them. And there they come out the front door, and I said, "Bye, Mommy," "Bye, Daddy," and got their attention. And my dad was a little upset, a little concerned, and so he had my mommy keep my attention there while he ran back in, and he had a little discussion with the nurses there, and he decided that I'd be better if I stayed inside the hospital. But the good part about this is I got better. That's a good thing to do. Isn't it good when you're sick to feel better? I found out it feels bad to feel bad. It feels better to feel better. And so I grew up bigger and bigger, and you know what I ended up doing? I ended up helping people that had owies. And it was a real blessing to me that I knew what it felt like to feel horrible. And I could look at these people that didn't feel very good, and I go, I know exactly what that's like. You ever had a situation where you didn't feel very good, or maybe a tummy ache? But sometimes people don't feel very good when they don't have a friend. Do you know that? We were talking about that earlier. Sometimes that can hurt almost as bad as a burned tummy, don't you think? Very much. Even big people feel lonely sometimes. We've talked about that this morning. You feel like that? And so we were thinking about that. How do we do things that help? If we feel bad about something, maybe we can go, that doesn't feel very good. How about we help other people feel better? Because we know it doesn't feel good. Maybe we can help them feel better too. What do we do to help a friend feel better? Like if you're out lonely on the playground, what do we do?
Be friends.
How do you be friends? Do you share? Is that things, or just go, hey, me first? What do you think?
Mm.
Oh, no? Do you have any ideas? Yeah? Well, it's something to think about. How do we help people be happy? You have something to say?
Make friends.
I love that. How many of you, the big people out there, how many of you like to have friends? Anybody like? Look at those people out there. They even like to have friends. And sometimes they like people like us up here to be friends with them too. Did you know they like friends too? I think that's one thing that's so common with so many people. I'd say everybody. I haven't met anybody that didn't like to have a friend. And we have this amazing opportunity to really see each other and go, how can I be your friend? It's a wonderful thing. And that's the story we have for today. We have Kids Zone later on. Are you guys willing to come and listen to some more stories and have crafts for Kids Zone? Is that okay? Wow. All right. Well, happy Sabbath. Thanks again. And we'll have another story next week. Thank you so much. You can go join your parents now.